Ali and Zainab had only been married for 2 years. Their love was ideal, but fate put them to a test they could not have imagined. It was nighttime. The clock was striking 12. Zainab was making tea in the kitchen, while Ali was preparing some necessary notes on his laptop. He was a brave and honest journalist, working against corruption and crime. For the past few weeks, he had been working on a very sensitive case, a case that could unmask many influential people. Suddenly, there was a soft knock at the door. Zainab looked at Ali in shock, then slowly opened the door. There was a letter under the door, without a sender's name. Zainab picked up the letter and brought it to Ali. As Ali opened the letter, his eyes widened in surprise and fear. Ali, if you don't return that file by tomorrow, your life will change forever. Zainab's breath caught. Who could it be?
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Zainab asked in a trembling voice. Ali replied seriously, These are the people I am investigating, but I will not back down. Zainab's face was filled with fear, but Ali's intentions were strong. What if? Zainab started to say something, but Ali held her hand and comforted her. I am fighting for the truth. If I get scared, this world will never change. The next morning, Ali went to the office as usual. Zainab waited anxiously for him to return all day, but even though it was evening, he did not return. A message came from an unknown number on Zainab's mobile. We have changed your world, now see how you have won. Zainab's mobile fell from her hand. Her heart was beating fast. She immediately called Ali, but the number was being disconnected. Fear and worry were in her eyes. Oh God, where is Ali? She murmured anxiously. Zainab called Ali's office, but the answer was that Ali had not reached the office since morning. Hearing this, the ground gave way under her feet. She quickly picked up her dupatta and opened the door and went out. But as soon as she reached the gate, she saw another letter lying under the door. If you want your husband's safety, then keep quiet. If you go to the police, the outcome will be bad. Zainab's whole body started shaking. Tears welled up in her eyes, but she controlled herself. She was not weak, nor could she let Ali's struggle go to waste. She immediately headed towards Ali's laptop. Ali always kept some part of his research at home. She opened the laptop, but the files were password protected. Zainab tried several times but failed. Then she tried another method, Ali's diary. Ali often wrote his important things in his diary. Zainab quickly opened the drawer and took out the diary and started turning the pages. On one page, Ali had written a mysterious address, and below it was a sentence. If anything happens, start here. Zainab took a deep breath. This is some secret clue from Ali. I have to go there. Zainab carefully read the address written in Ali's diary. It was the address of an old industrial area of the city, where there were several closed factories. She was scared, but she had to go to any extent to save Ali. She quickly took out her car and drove towards this mysterious address. It was nighttime. The streets were deserted, and there was complete silence around the factory. Zainab parked the car some distance away and started to secretly look for a way to get inside. The glass of one of the windows was broken, which allowed a faint view of the inside. It was dark inside, but a dim light was coming from a room in the distance. Zainab took courage and stepped inside through the window. As she moved forward, some papers were scattered on the floor. When she picked them up, she was shocked. It was Ali's same investigation file that had caused him to disappear. If this file is here, then Ali must be here somewhere. Hope rose in Zainab's heart. Suddenly, footsteps were heard from behind. Zainab quickly hid the file and hid behind a pillar. The two men were whispering to each other. Ali can't be held captive for long. If he doesn't listen to us by morning, then... Shut up, that's all there is to hear. The other man glared at her. Zainab's breath caught. Ali is alive. But where is he being held captive? Zainab's heart started beating faster. She was now certain that Ali was alive. But the problem was, where was he being held captive? She peeked out from behind the pillar. The two men were heading towards a rusty door, which was probably the way to the basement. This is the chance, Zainab thought. She slowly walked towards the door. As she descended, Ali appeared in the dim light of a bulb. He was tied to a chair, his face scarred but his eyes still determined. Zainab's eyes filled with tears, but she had to hold herself together. She quickly reached Ali and removed the cloth from his mouth. Zainab? How did you get here? This place is dangerous, Ali whispered. To get you out of here, tell me quickly, how can I untie this rope? Zainab said in a low voice. Ali motioned for a small knife hidden in a pocket. Zainab quickly took out the knife and started to cut the rope. But as the rope started to untie, someone's footsteps were heard on the stairs. Zainab and Ali's faces flew open. The door swung open and the same two men entered, weapons in their hands. It seems the tigress has come to hunt herself. One of the men smiled sarcastically. You people do whatever you want, but I will expose your truth to everyone, Ali said angrily. The other man laughed. If you live until morning, spread the truth. He took out a pistol and pointed it at Ali. Tha! A shot was fired. Zainab screamed. The sound of the bullet tore through the silence. Zainab closed her eyes in fear, but when she opened her eyes, she was shocked. The shooter himself had fallen to the ground. The police officers had entered from behind, guns in their hands. The other man immediately dropped his weapon and stood up with his hands raised. How did all this happen? Zainab did not understand how everything had suddenly changed. Ali said with a tired smile, Zainab, you did all this, Zainab said in surprise. But I didn't do anything. Then a familiar voice came. But I did. Zainab and Ali turned around. It was Ali's close friend Fahad. He was standing with the police, smiling. Ali, Zainab came to me after you disappeared, and together we planned to trace your location. As soon as Zainab set out to find you, I informed the police, Fahad explained. Zainab's tears welled up. I thought I would have to fight alone to save you, but I was wrong. We should never give up because there is always someone to support us on the path to truth. The police arrested the criminals and exposed their conspiracy by taking Ali's investigation to the media. Ali and Zainab were awarded for their bravery. The darkness of the night had ended, and a new sun was rising with a new hope. The soft morning sun was falling on Zainab and Ali's faces. They were sitting in the hospital room where Ali's wounds were being treated. Zainab was holding his hand as if she never intended to leave. Fahad was also there, smiling and saying, Dude, seeing your bravery, it seems that now you should do an action film along with journalism. Ali laughed lightly, but there was fatigue in his eyes. This all seems like a dream. If it weren't for Zainab, I might never have been able to come back, Zainab said softly. We won this war, but you know that the real war is still ahead, right? Ali nodded. Yes, those people are still powerful. Maybe some of their associates are still free. We have to be more careful. Just then, a police officer appeared at the door. Mr. Ali, your investigation has torn through a lot of curtains, but we feel that this matter is not over yet. Some of our sources are telling us that the big bosses of the mafia you gathered evidence against are still at large. Zainab's heart pounded. What do you mean? Could they strike again? The officer took a deep breath. It's possible. We'll have to tighten security for both of you. And Mr. Ali, we want you to share the rest of your information with us so that we can completely eliminate them. Ali glanced at Zainab, who looked strong despite her anxiety. I won't back down. I will finish what I have started, and I will die. The danger still remains. The next few days were very busy for Ali and Zainab. Together with the police, Ali completed his research and collected more evidence. They knew that the enemy was not going to sit still, but now they also had the protection of the law. One night, when Zainab and Ali were in their house, Ali received a call from an unknown number. He paused for a moment, then received the call. Ali Sahib, it seems you are becoming very brave. But remember, some truths are so dangerous that knowing them becomes a threat to life. Hearing the voice, Zainab looked at Ali in surprise. Ali replied in a stern tone, and some truths are so powerful that it becomes impossible to suppress them. The phone hung up, but the sword of danger was still hanging over their heads. The hour of decision. The next morning, a police informant reported that the mafia boss was about to flee the city. Ali and Fahad immediately went in pursuit of him along with the police. Zainab, who had always stood by Ali, was also ready to go, but Ali stopped her. Zainab, you have already done too much. Now let me finish this war. There were tears in Zainab's eyes, but she knew Ali was right. The final confrontation between the police and the criminals took place in an old warehouse in the city. Shots were fired, explosions occurred, and finally, with the help of information provided by Ali, The police arrested the ringleader of the criminals. A few days later, Ali and Zainab stood on the balcony of their house. Everything seemed calm, but the storm had passed in their hearts. "Did you ever think that so much would change in our lives?" Zainab said in a low voice. Ali smiled and looked at her. "No, but what happened made us stronger." Tell us in the comment box how you like this story.